It's all about the breakfast and brunch recipes today on Cooking with Tammy. I'm going to show you how to make a delicious set of blueberry pancakes. And I know you're like, wait, hold up. I tuned in for blueberry pancakes. It doesn't get any more simple than this. Yes, it is simple. However, I am going to show you tips and tricks on how to finesse, or should I say make the best blueberry pancakes in the world. So with that being said, let's get to cooking. Now here's the thing, I have my bowl here because we are going to be mixing both dry and wet ingredients. So to this bowl, the first thing we are going to be mixing is our dry ingredients. And for that, we're going to need some all-purpose flour, okay? All-purpose, you hear me? All-purpose. We're also going to add some baking soda, baking powder, salt, and any type of granulated sugar. This is some brown granulated sugar. It's more like cane sugar. So we're going to add that to the mix. We're going to use our balloon whisk. And we are going to combine all of the dry ingredients together. Make sure you stir it up really well. Simply because you don't want to get that slice of pancake or pancakes that's really salty, or one side of it is really sugary. That's going to be the ultimate turnoff, okay? So make sure everything is combined perfectly before you start to work on your wet ingredients. We're just going to put this to the side. For the wet ingredients, I didn't grab a bowl for this. Instead, I'm going to be using my 4-cup measuring cup, okay? And to the whole milk, we're going to add 2 eggs. And the other thing is, right, if you don't have whole milk on hand, feel free to use some half and half or even oat milk if you want, and coconut milk also. Totally up to you. This recipe is one of those universal recipes. It's going to be good regardless. We're going to add some melted butter for that nice buttery flavor. Who wants pancakes without the flavor? We're also going to add some vanilla bourbon paste. However, if you do have vanilla extract or vanilla essence, you can add that as well. Or even if you have a vanilla bean pod, all you have to do is slice the bean pod down the middle and just scrape out all of that beautiful fresh vanilla. I'm going to add a good amount of the vanilla paste. Love vanilla. And as promised, in order to get fluffy, creamy, melt in your mouth pancakes, you're like, what do you have? What do you have, Tammy? What do you have? We're going to add some ricotta. Yes, we're going to add the ricotta. Now, here's the thing. Let's talk. When it comes down to the ricotta, right? I know there's a lot of people, the only thing they could see ricotta being added to is lasagna or baked ziti. And right then and there, it's the ultimate turnoff. Well, here's the thing. Ricotta is one of those cheeses, believe it or not, right? It picks up on flavors very easily. If you add sugar to it, you would have such a delicious, sweet, sugary dessert snack, if you will. And if you add savory ingredients, same thing applies. You're going to have like this savory type of ricotta. Almost like lasagna, if you will, right? Am I going to taste the ricotta in the pancake mixture? No, you're not going to taste it in the final product whatsoever. You're not even going to know that ricotta is inside of your blueberry pancakes. So just add the ricotta. Trust me on this one. Just like that. And we're going to get in there with our whisk. And we're going to combine all of the wet ingredients together. Try not to make a mess like me. I know sometimes when it comes down to using certain ingredients that you're not accustomed to, it could be really scary. But sometimes you just have to step outside of the box, you know, step outside of the margin and give it a shot, give it a try. A lot of times when you go out to eat, you'd be surprised. There's a lot of things that you claim you don't eat that's within the ingredient or the recipe at the restaurant, believe it or not. If you only knew, you'd be like, oh my goodness, but I thought I didn't like such and such. Yeah, that's what you thought. Anyway, this smells really good because we added the vanilla essence or the vanilla extract. So this is good to go. If you want to add some cinnamon powder and even, let's say, maybe some nutmeg, you definitely can to step up the flavors, of course. This is the part where a lot of people get confused. They think they're going to add the dry to the wet, but instead you're going to add the wet to the dry. All right, and as you're adding it, you're going to take your time and combine the flour with the wet ingredients. All right, and one thing for sure is we are not going to overmix, okay? We're gonna take our time and just whisk everything together. At any point, if you have a spatula, if you want to get the spatula to scrape down the sides of the bowl, you definitely can. Now, here's the thing that I forgot. Get an organic lemon, okay, because we're going to be zesting. This should have been zested in the wet ingredients, but nevertheless, we're going to zest it into the batter. And the reason why I said organic is because they use a lot of pesticides when it comes to fruits and veggies. So it's better to use like an organic lemon, especially if you're going to be using the outer skin. Try not to zest the white part, only zest the yellow part. The white part is very bitter and it could turn you off. All right, so try to get a thin layer, as thin as possible, of only the lemon, the outer part of the lemon, if that makes sense. The yellow part. All right, that's perfect. That smells absolutely amazing. One thing for sure is lemon pairs perfectly when it comes down to blueberries. We have our blueberries that we're going to be folding into our pancake batter, but nevertheless, right? I'm going to take some out and I'm going to reserve it. And this should be good. We don't want our blueberries sinking to the bottom of the batter. So we're going to add a small amount of flour. All right, today is all about the tips and tricks. And the flour is going to help it not to sink. Okay, instead it's going to fold into the batter perfectly. All right, we're just going to fold our berries in. This batter is super light. Wow. Add some more. I don't know about you, but we love a lot of blueberries in the pancakes. It's so good. Why call it blueberry pancakes if you're going to be scared to add the blueberries, right? We're going to just allow it to sit out for about 5 to 10 minutes. We're not going to add it to our skillet just yet. It's really important that you follow these steps in order to get the best pancakes ever. So like I said, you're going to allow it to sit out. Yeah, you're not baking bread, but it's going to pay off in the end. As you can see, we have our setup ready to go. For this recipe, I'm going to be using my cast iron skillet. If you have a griddle, you could definitely use that. I went ahead and added a small amount of oil, spread it around the cast iron skillet, of course. And I'm going to go in with my butter. And we're going to be cooking on low medium. This is not a rush. And I'm going to use my measuring cup. And we're going to place it right there in the center, just like that. All right. Give it some shape, and that's it. When the sides or the outskirts start to brown slightly, you're going to be able to see it. And at that point in time, you're going to have those nice little crispy edges. That would be the perfect time to get in there and flip it on over. All right, let's flip it over. Perfect. Woo, that looks pretty. That looks really, really good. And here's what we're going to do. Going to get in there while it's nice and hot. And we're going to add some butter to the top. Now, this is a pancake, okay? Not just any pancake, a beautiful blueberry ricotta pancake. All right, we're gonna go ahead and do the rest off camera. And once we are finished, we are gonna come right back because I wanna show you how to hook up the most delicious syrup ever. That's gonna complement these pancakes. I have a paper towel lined plate, and we're gonna go ahead and place it right here, just like that, all right? And in order to lock in that moisture, we're gonna close it down for now until we work on making the other pancakes. All right, to make our beautiful, tasty syrup, okay? First thing we're gonna need is some butter to the pan. This is about, I wanna say approximately 2 tablespoons of butter. But when it comes to the butter, it's up to you how much you wanna add. All right, we're gonna add some syrup, of course. Add your favorite brand of syrup. Combine it with the butter. It's syrup, so it's gonna be extremely hot. All right, we're gonna hit it with some lemon juice. Brighten up the flavors. Minus the seeds. Let's hit it with some vanilla. All right, that should be perfect. Cinnamon. And nutmeg. Nutmeg is very pungent, so we're going to add a small amount of the nutmeg, of course. Stir it on up really good. If you want to add a pinch of salt to balance out the flavors, you can. However, I am not going to add the salt simply because I'm using salted butter. All right, let's add our blueberries and let's fold the syrup into the blueberries. Or let's fold the blueberries into the syrup. This is, this smells amazing. This is some good stuff, guys. This is some great stuff. All right, we're gonna allow this to cool down for just a bit and then we're gonna transfer it over. All righty, as you can see, I went ahead and stacked the pancakes. I added some butter to the top and we are just gonna slowly drizzle on our beautiful syrup that we made. This blueberry syrup is, oh my goodness, so tasty, so tasty. We lost our butter in the mix, but that's okay. All right, just, ooh-wee, that's gorgeous. For staging purposes, why not add a slice of lemon? All right, and it's about that time. Let's get to digging in. Wow, this is good. Gonna go on with my, because this is really stacked. Gonna go on with my knife for some help. All right, let's see what we have. If this is not creamy and beautiful and melt in your mouth, pillowy, dreamy, if you will, I don't know what is. This is good. I don't think, unless you've tried it this way, I don't think you've ever enjoyed pancakes this good. Wow. The only thing left to say is give this recipe a try, follow it to the T, unless you're allergic to something. But if you are not allergic to anything, these are going to be the best breakfast and brunch pancakes that you've ever tried. You hear me? Give that ricotta a try. Let me know how it turns out. And as always, I will definitely keep these recipes coming. Talk to you later. Bye, guys.